Yo, what's going on YouTube? Yo, this is Broman Clash right here, and I just want to talk about something. And I heard this on the news recently when I was on Facebook and all that stuff. And it was talking about the killing of two officers, execution style. And it was just like, wow, man, two police officers actually got killed. That's something. But I didn't really heed it no mind because to me that was just like, okay, we had like, two. Matter of fact, more than two black people killed. And you got like many more who were harmed by police officers. And you got like police officers that are even more crooked. And then now here's this news coming out. And it's talking about the killer and all that stuff, man. And it was said long before, and you could say that I'm wrong for saying this, and I'm bringing back like horrible memories that some of you probably lived through, back in the 1960s, or if you heard of it, from this brave, gallant gentleman. His name is Malcolm X. And he said, it's the case of chickens coming back home to roost. And some of you may say, like, why would you say that, especially about police officers getting killed? I mean, hey, there were police officers that were killing other people. Sure, there may be some good police officers, but my people had like a run-in with corrupt officers. So hearing about two police officers getting killed, yeah, it may be a tragedy, but truth be told, it is nothing. It's really nothing, man, for real. And then the nerve of some people actually saying, I can breathe, you know, and supporting NYPD, just supporting police all over the country. And if you know America's history, and some of you may say, oh, you're just going to pull out that card again, you're going to pull out the race card, let me tell you something. You can talk about the race card all you want, but it's still going to be played no matter what. You want to know why it's going to be played? Because it's always going to be shown right in front of your face, in front of my face, especially my face as a black man here in America. And now you want to tell me that I'm supposed to apologize and actually feel sorry for for two damn police officers who signed a bad contract. Some of you may say, that's cruel, man. Why would you say that? Why would you say, that's not right? Why would you say that? You gonna disrespect two officers like that? I'm like, let me tell you something. When you disrespect my people, and you have the nerve to look at my people and say we're less than human, even though you may say like, oh yeah, but there was the Civil Rights Act back in 1964. Yeah, 1964, the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And even then, still get treated like crap. And then nothing changed. And then the nerve of some people actually trying to use the fact that, yo, you know what, man, black people, y'all got a black president. Let me tell you something. He's nothing but a black face in the White House. And some of you may say, that's disrespectful to say. I mean, come on. White people love the white half of Obama. Black people, we love the black half. Either way, ain't a damn thing changed in the damn Congress because you see nothing but old ass white man inside the damn joint. And some of you may say, like, how does this connect to, police officers and you know, especially with the death of two police officers? You know what it reveals? It reveals that not a damn thing has changed. And some of you may say, how does that reveal that not a damn thing has changed? Seriously, think about it. Because if you actually believe that America has changed, you've been duped heavily. Why do I say you've been duped heavily? Think about it. Because those who do not know their history oftentimes repeat it. And then it also gets really sad when you look at, police officers and how the way they don't even look at black men as people. I remember I heard this on documentaries before, and I heard this again, and it kind of it speaks volumes because they say the most endangered species in America is not an animal but a man, the endangered black man. Now, how the hell can you call, you know, a man an endangered species when you can have black males? You can have black males that have the potential to be black men. But yet, the sad thing is the fact that when you look at black men, they are a threat because to the American white supremacist structure. Think about it. Like, I'll explain it, but through example. Look at Malcolm X. Look at Dr. King. Look at Medgar Evers. Look at Marcus Garvey. Look at all those black men. You want to know why they were men? Because they stood up and said, no, enough is enough. And they said, look, man, this is what we stand up for. We stand up for our people. Because you know why? Because we are who we are. We see the problem. We're not going to turn the other cheek because you say so. That's a true man. To stand up for who you are and to say, enough is enough. And just like Ozzie Davis once said, and I'm going to say it in his voice, he said, Malcolm said that the chains of slavery were cut and broken from the arms and the wrists a century ago, but the ones that they planted in your minds are still there, and they will be there until you get up off your knees and stand up like a man, even if it costs you your life. They lived it because they cut the mental shackles. When a people cut off the mental shackles of oppression, they begin to see the true beauty of black. But you want to know what the sad part is? Like, when you look at your own people and you have to look at them with hatred, despite, and even, despair, with hatred, discontent, with all manners of negativity, that speaks volumes on how we think of ourselves. And now I'm going to go off on a tangent, but I want to talk about this. Black on black hatred. Like, black on black hatred, you know what, man? That's not a good sign. Especially when it's towards your own people. When it happens towards your own people, you realize that you truly lost before you even began. And some of you may say, like, how does this tie in with 2 officers being killed? And it's going to harken back to America and how the way it was originally formed. It was not formed to protect people. It was formed to keep a commodity under control. They looked at black people not as people, but as property. That's the problem. Why do you think black celebrities are looked at more like property? Why do you think black athletes have, sponsors? They have, all these sponsors, like Foot Locker and all that crap, up on them. Because they're not people. They are just a figurehead. They may say, oh yeah, I got through here through hard work, and I got through here through skill. Let me tell you something. If that was the case, man, majority of these brothers out here and majority of these sisters out here, they would actually make it right then and there. But you want to know why they didn't make it? Because they were not selected. They were not meant to be, figureheads. They were not meant to be Uncle Toms, coons, just jiving around. And some of you may say, why you say jiving? That's a 1970s term. Well, let me tell you something. It seems as if you haven't gotten a history lesson yet, because you're continually repeating the very same thing that got us cut down in the first damn place. Now, some of my viewers may be white, and some of you may say, what the hell are you talking about? And that's the problem. This is a black situation. We gotta handle this on our own. I appreciate the fact that, there are some white supporters out there. But when it comes right down to, black problems, black people need to stand up for each other. And that's the problem. With black on black hatred, we start to lose ourselves. And once we lose ourselves, we start to lose what the hell does it truly mean to be people. And that's this unification right then and there in vibrant form. Now, back onto the cops. And why did I say it's just a bad case of, chickens coming back home to roost? I mean, cops have been killing, black folks for how many years now? Even decades. And now some of their own getting killed. And I heard that two of those cops were actually black. So that makes things even worse because you want to know why? Because it's just going to prove like, even if you're under the badge, being black does not guarantee that you're going to be safe. And you want to know what's even worse about being a black cop? Is the fact that you are still a slave. That's the thing. And it's just like what Minister Louis Farrakhan once said. Pharaoh has given up on you, but you have not given up on Pharaoh. Now, it kind of makes you think, what happened to actually looking at each other and saying, we are brothers, without looking at each other like we're disgusted at one another? What happened to looking at each other like, looking at our women with respect? I can understand some of us, we have despicable attitudes and we don't like each other. That's true. I can understand that. But to put aside your difference and say, look, enough is enough. We got to come together, or divided we will fall. Now, how's this tying with, those two cops being shot? It goes back into American history and how the way slave hands, white or black, had like a little bit of a higher position, but a lower position than the slave master. Now, this harkens back to slavery days, but we're doing it with a modern day twist. Instead of having slaves, we have us. Instead of having the plantations, we're in the fucking ghettos. Well, in the fucking streets. And instead of having slave hands, we actually have police officers. And instead of having slave masters, we end up having police chiefs, mayors, presidents. Don't even care what the fuck you have. They're higher than the police officers, the fucking soldiers. They're higher than the ones who are actually supposed to be doing the so-called protecting. And you want to know the funny part is? The thing about protection in America, it's not meant to protect those who are property. It's not meant to protect those who are, who looks just like me. It's not meant to protect those who are of African origin, Native American origin, Arabic origin, any origin outside of Europe. It's meant to protect those who are within Europe or within the boundaries to be protected. And here's the thing. Some Europeans will not hesitate to cast your ass out into the fucking wilderness if they don't need your ass. And some of you may say, how could you say that? This is not true. There were some Europeans that fought and died with blacks. And I say that is true. But if you use that as an excuse to let injustice happen, then you're a part of the problem more than you are a part of the solution. Hey, look, and some of you may say, did you participate in any marches? Did you ever participate? Did you ever go out there and speak? Let me tell you something, man. I may not went out there and spoke. I may not went out there to the marches. But you want to know definitely what I was doing? I was keeping my head in the information. I was making sure I was in the know. I made sure that my people were in the know. And I made sure my people knew who the hell they are. And some of you may say, how? The best way to know who you are is to know yourself. As soon as I found myself, other people began to follow suit. Now, how's this tie in with, like America today, and how does America today harken back to slavery days? Now, it harkens back to slavery days, and it harkens back, to the civil rights era, definitely to the civil rights era, especially when people are fighting back. And, it's a beautiful time because you're starting to see that black people, we're not taking any shit no more. And that's fucking beautiful. And I know some of y'all may say, oh, cursing on camera, that's very unprofessional. But you know what, man? I'm just gonna express myself because this is how I am. I'm gonna curse where the fuck I want to. And if you don't like it, shit, then you just don't fucking like it. And if you do like it, trust me, I give cursing a plus. But back onto the serious topic. And it kind of harkens, and the reason why it harkens back to slavery days is because, like, black people are not looked at as people. We're looked at as property. And black males, we're looked at as a threat because we can genetically, you know, dominate some other genes. And some of you may say, like, how's that true? Like, think about it. If you notice, when a white man, back then, when white men raped black women, the babies would come out darker than the white man, but a little lighter than the black woman. But let's say if a black man was raped by a white woman, the baby would have more phenotype towards the man than towards the woman, thus proving that black genes are more dominant. But over time, as you whiten up the black genes, they start to become lighter. The phenotype, starts to become, have more of a European look. And then here's where things get really, fucked up. Because it's just like what Minister Louis Farrakhan said. Pharaoh has let go of you, but you haven't let go of Pharaoh. And some of you may say, what is that supposed to mean? Like, take it to the context of slavery. It goes back to that. And how the way slavery, the slave master was considering himself like the servant of God, or some of them even think they were God, like how the way some pharaohs thought. And how the way the pharaohs thought of themselves as God, and how the way you could tie biblical stories to what's going on in America. And you wanna know what the funny part is? It seems as if we love listening to the stories, but we never know when the stories actually become reality. And aside from the brief phenotype and all that crap, man, because Genos deals with the genes and Phenos is more physical, in case you were wondering. And now, man, it's very funny how the way some people actually will rather support police officers still, even after, this great injustice. But, with, these two officers being killed, and some say even the officers were black, and the killer was a part of like the Black Gorilla family or something like that. You know what, man? Seriously, it's a big ass setup. And I'm not talking about, the whole conspiracy about the race war, but you gotta be careful. And also the martial law. Be careful of that one, too. Look up the martial law. And the reason why I'm warning about the martial law is because, as soon as police officers get their hands on the martial law, they will not hesitate to shoot down any unarmed black male, especially black males, any unarmed black person without a hesitation, or any unarmed person that's outside of European descent. Now, here's the real kicker right here. If you look back at, recent events, I noticed that, little white kids with guns shooting up schools, crazy ass white men who written notes prior to the shooting shoots up a damn movie theater. And it makes you think, if the police officers knew this was going to happen, they would rather protect their own. So the way I see it, man, they don't have to worry about us. Their people will do it for us themselves. They will shoot up. Sooner or later, we're going to have like one crazy ass whitey that's going to shoot up a damn police station. And once I see that on the news, I'm just going to die laughing because I'm just going to be like, wow, That's where white privilege will get you. Dead. If you notice, white privilege has led to black detrimental downfall. And to this day, white privilege has continued to be seen as a detriment to society more than it has been an advancement. In fact, I think when certain white people have, white privilege, they become much, much more ignorant than the average, child. See, the children, they're innocent, so they don't know better. But let a grown white man tell you that, oh, there is no such thing as racism. Because you know why? Because I don't see it. That's the thing. Just because you don't see it doesn't necessarily mean it isn't happening. And some of you may say, oh, why are you talking about racism? Aren't you being a racist? I'm just like, man, let me tell you something. You can call me a bigot. That's cute. You can call me racist. I'll be like, oh, stop it. I ain't got no power. That's the thing. Racism requires power. I don't have power in America. The government does. And it's just like what Malcolm X once said. Don't blame a cracker in Georgia for your injustices. The government is to blame for your injustice. And just like what was said back then with Malcolm X, he said this: America's democracy is hypocrisy. And the police officers, the lives being lost. Nobody likes a loss. But chickens coming back home to roost. That's the thing, man. That's the only thing I gotta say. And some of you may say, that's really cold, harsh, and I thought you were like a much nicer guy than that. Let me tell you something. Don't take my kindness as my weakness, and don't take it for granted neither. Because I would just say something, and it would be just on my mind. And this is what I truly feel. And to hear about this, to hear about two police officers getting, fatally shot in they say execution style, or they just got fatally shot in general, it just actually made me look like, really? Damn. First, Eric Garner. No, at first it was Trayvon Martin. Oh man, then there was Sean Bell. Then there was Amun Diallo. You get what I'm trying to say. There were black men who were killed before these two officers. And I would remember those people more than I remember these two officers. And the guy who shot, those two officers, man, what the fuck were you thinking? You just gonna cause, a much bigger problem. Because there was already tension between officers and black people in general. And just because you are black and you are officer, see, when you choose the officer, that's when you actually have enemies. That's when you actually have enemies. And personally, if I look at you and you're a black police officer, I'm just gonna be like, I can't trust you, right? Seriously, some of you may say, that's a bit ignorant. Let me tell you something. When you look back at history, just connect the dots and you will see that everything makes sense. And those who, like I said before, who do not know their history or choose not to know it, end up repeating it. And, it's just very funny how the way people just look at things and just say, that's peculiar. Oh, this. Oh, that. Oh, that's nothing new. Oh, this is nothing new. Oh, that. Oh, this. Oh, that. Oh, this. But, you got to look at the facts. Some people would just rather look at things and just be like, man, please. But when I look at those two officers got killed, you know what went through my mind? Same thing that was said with Malcolm X. Chickens come back home to roost. And I know I'm going to get a lot of flack, but I don't care. Because you know why? Because I just said what I had to say, what was on my mind. And with that, YouTube, this is Broman Clash saying I won at one. Love y'all all. Love you all. And if you didn't like what the hell I had to say, then I can't help you. Because I just said it. And there's no regrets. Alright? Later.